Small town streets, quiet nights, panhandle wind under pale moonlight. A family's hurting, the town in pain, saying a name like it's a prayer in the rain. London Valdez, we won't forget. Every tear, every candle lit, courtroom doors and a long hard road. Truth feels heavy, but it has to be told. Justice in Hooker, Oklahoma cries from the wheat fields up to the wide open sky. No more rumors, no more lies, just the truth brought into the light. We're standing strong, we deserve the truth for London's name and the pain we knew. This town is waiting, hearts are stirred. Justice needs served, justice needs served. Sheriff lights in the early dawn, mothers pray and families strong. Everybody knows, but nobody speaks when silence feels louder than broken dreams. Courthouse steps, February cold, all these stories left untold. A young life taken, no rewind, just memories frozen in time. Justice in Hooker, Oklahoma cries from the wheat fields up to the wide open sky. No more rumors, no more lies, just the truth brought into the light. We're standing strong, we deserve the truth for London's name and the pain we knew. This town is waiting, hearts are stirred. Justice needs served, justice needs served. This ain't about hate, this ain't about blame. It's about a family calling out a name. It's about answers, it's about peace. Let the truth speak, let the hurting breathe. Justice in Hooker, Oklahoma stands with folded prayers and shaking hands. No matter how long, no matter the cost, we won't forget the ones we lost. For London Valdez, we won't be unheard. In every courtroom, every whispered word, this town is waiting, the truth preserved. Justice needs served, justice needs served. Justice needs served. Wind still blows through the panhandle sky, but London's name will never die. 16 candles frozen in time, a young girl's smile in a memory line. London Valdez, forever her name, not just a headline, not just a case. A grandma's heart with a fire inside, Liz Taylor standing, refusing to hide. A mother's voice that won't grow tired, Brittany Valdez breathing truth through the fire. They've been screaming for London night and day, to always be to anyone in the way. The bloody leads to the courtroom walls, to the world that justice still hasn't called. They won't be silent, they won't pretend. This fight for London will never end. From the rooftops, from broken hearts, they're screaming for London from the start. Small town whispers, big time pain. Years go by, but the hurt remains. They kept the pressure, they kept the flame. When the system moved slow, they spoke her name. Oh, no money, no power, just love and truth. Just a family that refused to lose. Every interview, every tear they cried was another way to keep London alive. They've been screaming for London night and day, to Ospia, to anyone in the way, to Buddy Leach, to the courtroom walls, to the world that justice still hasn't called. They won't be silent, they won't pretend. This fight for London will never end. From the rooftops, from broken hearts, they're screaming for London. From the start, this ain't about revenge or blame. It's about truth and saying her name. It's about a girl who deserved to grow, and a family who won't let go. They're still screaming for London, strong and loud, through every storm, through every crowd. Forever 16, forever loved, written in prayers, written in blood. Liz and Brittany won't back down. They carry her light through every town, till the day the truth is finally heard. They'll scream for London, every word, every word. Ooh, yeah. Some fights fade, some stories end, but this one lives in a mother and friend. Forever 16, forever free, London Valdez, remembered endlessly.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hawkeyes, I see you. Yippee-ki-yay, Lavender, Gail. It's good to see everybody. This is the London Valdez case. Girl went missing out of hooker, was living with her grandma. Ended up taking off with two guys. It's been said that she was given alcohol and methamphetamines. She had been hanging with the two guys. One of them stayed in Guyman while Brayden Brown was supposed to give her a ride home. He got paranoid. They justified. He got paranoid, thought the cops were following them, and we believe they ingested methamphetamine because they thought they were being followed. Brayden took off one way. London went off the other way. A lot of things has happened. I will say her grandma and her mom has fought this hard. They speak out a lot. And I know that several of you guys are from that area. And he has court coming up. He has preliminary hearings starting the 6th. Now, I'm in the area, but I got a doctor's appointment on Friday, and I don't think I can change that. But I'm going to see. Let's see here. Let me get this off of here. All right. Here we go. So he had court November 12th, and it was just for the proceedings. December 17th, preliminary hearing conference, and now the preliminary is going to start February 6th, 2026. Now, I saw where the family was asking anybody that could show up and support them at Beaver County Court. They'd like to have you there. Brayden's being charged with murder in the 2nd degree or in the alternative manslaughter in the 1st degree by misdemeanor manslaughter. Two of the things that's happened recently in the case is they did subpoena the one sheriff officer, Jason Johnston, and got that back. And they also subpoenaed Jose Minjares, the other guy that was in the car. He has not been charged with anything in this case. And he was just arrested on the 27th. He was arrested for own, possess, keep, train bird for fighting, cruelty to animals. But he is being called to testify against Brayden. Now, the way I understand this is this preliminary will be before Judge Cash. And then she decides if there's enough evidence to take it further in the judicial system. So it's a very, very important preliminary hearings. It'd be interesting to listen to, too. So again, if you're in that area and you are free on Friday, they need all the support they can get. Let me get back to chat here. Hey, April, good to see you. You know, London laid out there for, 5 days? And nobody had found her on that road. I couldn't even imagine what her mom or her grandma or her friends went through. It's a lot. And I understand them wanting to get justice. And maybe in the preliminary, everything will come out. Hello, PK sews it up. Good to see you. London Valdez is a 16-year-old who left her grandma's house with 2 men and went running around with them. And she ended up passing away out in the country. So this will be the preliminary hearing. Like I said, it should be interesting. Everybody wants justice for London. Absolutely. Now, there's something else I wanted to go over. It's kind of crazy. So if you're from the Panhandle, you know that it's the good old buddy system, right? Well, I've had a couple people hit me up ever since the Jillian Veronica case, okay? Kevin McIntyre comes up a lot. And it's kind of crazy that he comes up. It's never a good story either. Never a good story. And so somebody recently that follows this channel, she's hit me up several times. There's a case going on, and it involves the undersheriff in Cimarron County. And if you guys remember, let me see if I can pull this up. This was out a while back, and it was from Guerrilla Publishing, Ron Durbin. Cimarron County, we need to talk. So the Cimarron County Undersheriff Calvin Davidson publicly announced this absolute banger of a take. There's no requirement for a police officer to de-escalate any situation. Now remember this comment that supposedly he made. There's no requirement for a police officer to de-escalate any situation. I don't train my officers to do that. Cool. Nothing says public safety professional. Quite like we don't try to calm situations down. We just crank them up and see what happens. Let's translate what he's really saying into plain English. Talking things down? Nah. Reducing risk to citizens? Not the vibe. Preventing unnecessary force sounds dangerous to cops' feelings. Instead, escalate first, justify later. Everyone goes home safe except maybe you. This isn't Law and Order. This is Call of Duty Rule Edition. The problem isn't just the quote, it's the culture. Here's the terrifying part, Cimarron County. If this is what your undersheriff proudly says out loud on social media, what do you think happens behind closed doors? If he doesn't believe in de-escalation, are deputies trained to default to force? Are traffic stops treated like combat missions? Are mental health calls treated like hostage rescues? Are citizens viewed as problems to control instead of people to protect? Anyway, this came out a while back, and Ron's trying to call to attention to Cimarron County. But here is the undersheriff, and You can't get the whole conversation, but here's Calvin Davidson. Holy gee, there's no requirement for a police officer to de-escalate any situation. I don't train my officers to do that. That's how cops get hurt, and my guys are going home at the end of their shift. Well, I told this person that I'd look into it. This was only a couple hours ago, so I've been looking into it. I'm going to do a whole segment on this. I'm going to do another one on Kevin McIntyre. I'm just going to hit it all hard because it seems like a problem. Seems like a big problem. Let me show you this too. So I've just been digging a little bit. And in a little bit of time I dug, I found some things. First, I want to bring this up. Okay. Calvin Davidson. This is bold.pro. I guess it's something that police officers use to, keep their history or when they're applying for jobs. He says he lives in Yukon, Oklahoma, right here. Can he really live in Yukon, Oklahoma and be working as a undersheriff in Boise City, Oklahoma? I don't know. I mean, you got the guy out of Woodward, the sheriff there, that keeps going overseas, and they say maybe he works 2 days a week. Woodward's been complaining about that. But, so this came up when I put his name in. I was looking at it. And wait till you see what he says down here. Okay, his skills. This is his skills. Report writing. Conflict de-escalation. That's what he's got on his resume here. Conflict de-escalation. It's a little different than his public statement on Facebook, right? So that was kind of weird. And he says here, we'll go back up here. He's got 8 years of professional experience. He's been working for Boise City, Oklahoma, Cimarron County Sheriff Office since September 2024. Let's see, he says, participated in ongoing training opportunities to stay current and best practices, maintaining a high level of expertise within the field of law enforcement. Displayed sound judgment under pressure when making critical decisions that impact public safety during emergency situations. Utilized excellent communication skills when interacting with diverse population, fostering trust between law enforcement and the community members they serve. Answered emergency calls for help from citizens and business owners. Handled domestic disputes tactfully, de-escalating tensions while providing appropriate support to affected individuals. Training new officers on department policies and procedures, fostering a professional work environment focused. There's that. But anyway, so he's currently a Cimarron County Sheriff. I hear he's the undersheriff. And he also says he still works for Walmart. Uniformed police officer, Walmart/Signal 88, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, from September 2020 to current. And is it called a uninformed police officer? Is that what that job is? I don't know. I thought it was like theft protection, but I don't know. But he also worked as Cashin Police Department, Cashin, Oklahoma, from September 2022 to 9/2024, which is obviously when he took the job there in Cimarron County. And he said he was a security supervisor for FAA Mike Monroe Aeronautical Center. Anyway, let me get you something else here because I just started digging. So I'll just keep digging. Let's see here. There's a case. Let me find it. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay. There's a case that is Laverne L. Riley and Julia Riley, their husband and wife, and they're suing Walmart Inc., East LP Signal 88 Security of Edmond, and Calvin Davidson. Got his name in there. They're directly suing him too, Calvin Davidson. Now, what I was reading earlier is there was some shoplifting that went on and must have been at Walmart. and Calvin was the one working. And let's see here. It hasn't went, it was just filed in June of last year. So they haven't been to court over it yet. So this is pending. This is what I found was interesting too. We're going to pull it up. Okay. Laverne L. Riley and Julia Riley, husband and wife, versus Walmart Inc., Walmart Stores, East LP Signal 88, security of Edmund and Calvin Davidson. Okay, plaintiff's first amended petition. Comes now the plaintiffs Laverne L. Riley and Julia Riley, husband and wife, and for the causes of action against the defendants, Walmart Inc., Walmart Stores, East LP Signal 88, security of Edmund and Calvin Davidson. Alleged and state, on or about, hey, Simi Sharp, it's good to see everybody. On or about June 3rd, 2024, plaintiff Laverne L. Riley was a customer at the Walmart Supercenter located at or around 6100 West Reno Avenue, owned, occupied, and or maintained by defendant Walmart Inc. and or Walmart Stores East. At all times relevant hereto, Laverne L. Riley and Julia Riley were husband and wife. At all material times mentioned hereon, defendant Calvin Davidson, who is an Oklahoma resident and was the employee or an independent contractor agent of defendant Walmart Inc., Walmart Stores, East LP and or Signal 88 security of Edmond, and was working as security guard at the Walmart Supercenter. Well, that says security guard, but he puts on his thing, he's an undercover police officer or whatever it was. Interesting. 4. Signal 88 Security in Edmond may be a security company who retained Davidson to work as a security guard for Walmart and who was retained by Walmart. First cause of action, excessive use of force and negligence. And it says, at all times mentioned hereon, Riley was acting peacefully and in an unthreatening manner. As Riley was about to exit the Walmart Supercenter, Davidson suspected him of shoplifting and told him to stop. Riley ran from Davidson and exited the store, leaving his merchandise behind with Davidson in pursuit. As Riley crossed the parking lot, Davidson tased Riley using a taser weapon, thereby disabling him. And the reason, you might ask why I'm reading this, because this is the undersheriff. This Davidson is now your undersheriff over there in Cimarron County. With his defense disabled from the taser, Davidson tackled Riley, driving his body into the cement, causing Riley to strike his head on the cement. This resulted in multiple injuries, including brain swelling, and Riley had to have a portion of his skull cap removed as a life-saving measure. Defendants knew or should have known that the use of force exerted on Riley when he was not threatening or retreating was excessive and unnecessary. Defendants knew or should have known that tackling a victim after tasing them was a dangerous act and violates reasonable standards for security and the use of tasers. The defendant's actions showed a lack of ordinary care, a person or entity in the same or similar circumstances. The other defendants failed to act reasonably when they hired Davidson. The other defendants failed to train Davidson or take responsible or reasonable steps to make sure he was adequately trained on reasonable use of force and the proper use of tasers. The other defendants failed to supervise Davidson to make sure he would not use excessive force or he would use his taser properly and not exert excessive force on the public. Defendants' actions were reckless, careless, grossly neglect, and willful and wanton. As a direct and proximate result of the use of force of the defendants, plaintiffs has sustained bodily injuries, has incurred medical expenses, has experienced pain and suffering, and other damages in excess of $75,000. That's what the lawsuit's going for, excess of $75,000. Second cause of action, assault and battery. Plaintiff Laverne Riley re-alleges and incorporates by reference the foregoing paragraphs and states, defendant Davidson intentionally acted to case harm and or the fear of imminent harm and make physical contact with plaintiff Riley outside of the Walmart Supercenter when he chased him and his taser, used his taser on plaintiff and then tackled him. Defendant Davidson made unwanted, harmful, contact with plaintiff without plaintiff's consent to the physical contact. Defendant Davidson caused severe bodily injury to plaintiff Riley when he tased and tackled plaintiff, which subsequently caused plaintiff's skull and other body parts to impact the pavement outside of the Walmart Supercenter, causing severe bodily injuries. Now let me remind you, this was filed in June, and he was hired there in Cimarron in what, September? So this case was already pending. It's kind of crazy. Third case of action. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. Plaintiff Laverne Riley realleges and incorporates by reference from foregoing paragraphs and states, defendants acted intentionally and recklessly while Riley was not acting in a threatening manner and retreating when they chased him down, tased him, and drove him into the cement, causing him to strike his head and other parts of his body. Defendant's conduct was extreme and outrageous. Defendant's conduct reasonably caused Riley to experience extreme emotional distress. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's conduct, plaintiff has sustained bodily injuries, has incurred medical expenses, has experienced pain and suffering, and other damages in excess of $75,000. Anyway, I'll put this on my main page, but this is the undersheriff in Cimarron County. Now, I wasn't there. I'm only reading. I'm only following up. But this other person that hit me up, supposedly she was supposed to do, or he, I don't know if it's a he or a she, was supposed to do a controlled buy with Kevin McIntyre. And they didn't follow through. And so now they've been getting harassed. And I guess it's gotten pretty deep to where this undersheriff, according to them, is following them, repoing their cars, all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff. That's not okay. And listen, I don't live there, but I like the Cimarron County Sheriff. As a matter of fact, when I was there Thursday, I saw him at the grocery store when I was in Boise City. But I don't live there, so I don't know what's going on. What I do know is, does anybody know how your undersheriff gets elected? Now here you go. In Cimarron County, Oklahoma, the undersheriff is appointed directly by the elected county sheriff. You know, and I had to dig a little bit because I noticed that their old jobs, the sheriff's old job in Luther, Oklahoma, and Davidson's old job out there by Edmond, the old jobs were only 28 miles apart. So I wasn't surprised that they could possibly know each other. And then I found this: in Cimarron County, Oklahoma, the undersheriff is appointed directly by the elected county sheriff. The undersheriff serves as the second in command, often managing daily operations, and is selected based on the sheriff's discretion to assist in law enforcement duties. For example, a previous undersheriff was appointed by the sitting sheriff to manage operations before latter succeeding him. So my next question is, I also was told, oh, I'm sorry, you're not familiar with the case. I'm talking about Cimarron County now. Sorry about that. Okay, so my other question is, if you're from Boise City or Cimarron County, had you heard that the undersheriff and maybe a jail guard got caught having sex? The jail was left this is what I was told. The jail was left unattended, and the jail guard went with the undersheriff. Listen, I don't know if this is true or not, so I want to know if you guys had heard it. If you did, hit me up, let me know. Anyway, supposedly, they that person left the jail, so the jail was unattended, and went riding with Davidson, and they had sex, and that person supposedly got fired, but Davidson still has his job. My other question is do they wear body cam? Does anybody know if Cimarron wears their body cam? Surely they have dash cams too, right? And Oklahoma is really good about FOIAs. So if there is dash cam and there is body cam, I'm sure their attorneys will get that. Sometimes when you have people, listen, I come from a law enforcement family, okay? I get it. But one thing I will say is law enforcement, in my eyes, there's only two. Either they just really like the job, and that's why they do the job, because the pay ain't that great, okay? or they're a control freak and a power freak, and they want all that power and feel like they're just somebody important. I don't know which one this guy is, this Davidson, but it sounds like he's ruffling a lot of feathers, making comments about not de-escalating the situation. A couple other people said they feel like ever since he was made the undersheriff that he's the one in control. I don't know. Again, I don't live there. But I've had several people tell me that ever since he became undersheriff, it's like he's running the things. He's running the jail. He's running the things. I don't know. Again, from what I know of your sheriff, I liked him. Still like him, but I don't live there. So if you know any of the above, as far as what was going on there, let me know. Or where can I find that information? You know, I don't want to just take a couple people telling me, yeah, that's what happened. I want to dig. I want the receipts. I want to find the receipts. So we're going to dig and find the receipts. If you're late coming in, London Valdez, Hooker, Oklahoma. One of the gentlemen that she was hanging out with is being charged with second degree. February 6th, he's got his preliminary hearing. So if you're in the area and you can make it to that hearing, the family's looking for support to have people show up. Let's see here. I want to make sure I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. On that aspect of it. And I know it said London Valdez. We already covered that. Unless anybody has any more questions about that one. Court's going to be interesting. The way I understand it is the judge will hear both sides and decide if it goes on to trial. And then I think at that time, they decide if it's going to be a jury trial or a judge trial. Now, I will say this Ulysses news, they've been covering it quite well. Preliminary hearing set for Brown and London Valdez case. And that's Brayden right there. This is December 17th. Brayden Brown, 19, appeared in Beaver County Court December 17th for a preliminary hearing regarding the death in June of 2025. It was a preliminary hearing case hearing. It wasn't the actual preliminary hearing. In the death of London Valdez in June 2025 of Hooker, Oklahoma. Brown walked into the courtroom shackled, hand and feet, wearing the black and gray striped jail uniform. He is facing charges of second-degree murder or first-degree manslaughter in connection with the death of Valdez, whose body was found near Fogan, Oklahoma, in rural Beaver County. This was not his first appearance for Brown, who appeared before a judge November 5th and November 12th, 2025. Valdez was reported missing June 7th, 2025, and her body was discovered 5 days later. According to law enforcement, during the investigation, Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation special agents discovered Valdez was with Brown and another man, Jose Minjares, 21, a few days before her death. Minjares has not yet been charged with any wrongdoing. Investigators who spoke to Brown say they learned he was under the influence of alcohol and methamphetamine while with Valdez. He was allegedly the driver of a vehicle belonging to Minjares' family, which got stuck on the dirt road just north of where the body of the young girl was found. London Valdez. Authorities say Brown left the area without Valdez, and this was the last time Valdez was seen alive. Brown is facing the felony charges related to Valdez, as well as a misdemeanor charge of possession of drug paraphernalia and domestic abuse with assault and battery involving an alleged incident involving his father, Gene Brown. At the latest hearing, the judge set the cases for another hearing at 9 a.m. February 6th in Beaver County. In agreement with the district attorney and other counsel, the entire day was set aside for the next hearing, stating they will work into the evening if they need to. Brown has entered not guilty pleas, and as to the misdemeanor unrelated case, the court said they will see what happens on February 6th and go from there. It will also be decided at a later time if there will be a trial by jury or bench, with the judge deciding. Valdez and Brown both had family and friends present in the courtroom for the last hearing. Gene Brown, Brown's father, appeared on his own charges involving his son Brayden after Brayden's hearing concluded. Let's see here. I got a lot of things open here, so I want to make sure that oh, listen. I'm digging. I'm starting to dig again. Former district attorney task force agent enters plea bargain. This is Kevin McIntyre stuff again. I'm going to go all over it and I'm going to dig right through it again. Anyway, I was wondering why that was still on my screen. Let's see what this is. I want to make sure that we covered everything on this. Okay, that's done too. I already covered that. I'm closing some of this stuff so that I can get to what we need to get to. Oh, okay. So, no, Chris, I'm sleeping talking. It's not live. I'm sleeping talking. Okay? That's what's going on here. Okay. It was a joke. So, I know it's all over the place, but corruption runs deep. And you got to know it runs pretty deep when you've got Oklahoma legislators complaining. And I wanted to see here. I had it pulled up and I don't know why it went away. But Justin did another live. Let's see if I can just find it this way. It was in the feed. Let's see here. Right here. I want to play this for you.
In here at the Capitol in front of a Representative JJ. Hello, Oklahoma, Representative JJ Humphrey. Hey, I'm standing here at the Capitol in front of a poster of Will Rogers. He's one of my favorite Oklahomans. He had a unique way of calling things out and just a good sense of humor about it. So I just thought this would be a great place to call out how that our court system, Chief Justice named in the grand jury, appoints his own person who he wants to oversee the grand jury. Totally improper, totally unethical, totally against the codes of ethics and the judicial codes. And so anyways, he names that person, and then that person allows the subjects of the grand jury, Charles McCall, and the judicial. Can you believe that the judicial complaints department is going to file a motion to quash and a motion for sanctions against one? They didn't file against all of the people that brought the grand jury. They only filed against one, and that's yours truly. So I guess I'm doing a great job. So they filed a $50,000 sanction. Guys, guess what that is? That's intimidation of a grand jury petitioner. It's intimidation of witness. It's obstruction. Guys, these people are allowing, these judges are allowing criminal acts to go on and not calling it out. They're being very unethical in just setting over this and how they're appointed and everything. This is corrupt. And again, guys, if we don't stop this, we're going to lose our country. Our judicial system is a backbone. It's the very basis of our country. And so it's time to take back Oklahoma. Let's take it back, call it out. Let's demand that a grand jury. What are these people afraid of? Obviously, they're very, very, very afraid. They're calling this frivolous. If it was frivolous, then why wouldn't they let it go? But obviously, they're afraid of what we have, and they are trying to stop. They're pulling out all the stops to make sure that we don't get a grand jury. They're willing to blatantly break the law, commit crimes, and try to stop this. And guys, we've got to call it out. We've got to get it done. Y'all have a great day.
I just found it interesting. You got a state representative even saying, man, Oklahoma's messed up. The judicial system's messed up. Supreme Court's messed up. You're from Louisiana. Listen, I know I'm all over the place because I'm just trying to show you guys everything that I found of interest, trying to catch you up on the case. The other case, another case that we had followed a little bit was the lady out of Oklahoma where her adopted son killed her and put her in the trash can. He admitted to doing it, and he beat her with a hammer. So anyway, that's a sad case too. I just can't even imagine that happening. Let's see here. And then just putting her in the trash can? This is crazy. It's crazy. It's not the first time sons have killed their moms with hammers. Seems to be a common weapon, to say the least. Okay. Catch up on this one too.
Also this evening, a mother murdered and her body found in a trash can. It was breaking news. We were bringing you this time yesterday.
The suspect, her adopted teenage son. News 4's Abigail Franklin is following today's developments, and she's joining us live from Logan County with the new information. Abigail, what are you learning?
Well, Kevin, Heather, there are still a lot of unanswered questions surrounding this case, but we do know that the son that is in custody is her adopted son, and the victim's name is Spring Weems.
This is an incredibly sad story. You're talking about a woman who lost her life in just a brutal way.
The Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation is trying to piece together what happened to a mother who was murdered and her body dumped in a trash can outside of her home in Logan County.
What we have so far is what I had described last night, is that the woman did sustain injuries that are consistent with homicide at this time.
OSBI says the woman is 49-year-old Spring Weems. She was found by Logan County deputies after someone called 911 reporting two boys fighting outside the home.
As soon as we arrived, there was a statement made that the body was going to be in a trash can outside of the home.
The woman's adopted son was arrested on complaints of first-degree murder. Neighbors tell News 4 the teen is a freshman in high school.
We're still looking into the exact motive, why this occurred.
I spoke with the neighbor who made the call to 911. She did not want to go on camera, but she says she saw police there earlier that day for a welfare check because the woman was missing. She says 30 minutes later, two teenagers were outside fighting. When she ran over to break them up, she says one of them told her, "He just killed my mom."
We're going to go through the normal protocols of finding a safe place for that teen at this time. The teenager who we arrested was booked into a juvenile facility in Canadian County.
So as of right now, it's still not clear exactly what led up to the death of Spring Weems here. I've talked with a handful of neighbors today, and some of them have told me they've turned over camera footage to state investigators. So hopefully that should help piece together what exactly happened. And we'll bring that information to you once we receive that. Live in Logan County, Abigail Franklin.
That was crazy, huh? Let's see here. Simi Sharp, welcome in. Christopher Hughes, I was in Bible study and it came on. I was shocked. There you go. Jason, I will be in Guyman tomorrow. Right now I'm in Colorado. I'm going to drive over in the morning. Plan on spending the day there. And I don't know when I'll head back to where I'm at now. Journey left on Friday, headed for Phoenix. Our court site in Arizona. Looks like she made it. Sounds like it was good travel. We wish her the best. We're so glad that she came in and let us know everything was going good. Sorry, Jason. I appreciate you reaching out. Yippee, it was 83F. I was sweating. How high did it get here? I think it was like 60, 64, 65, I think. Yes, the fact of journey traveling is very scary. What'd you say? I got Justified at the front of the bus, hollering at me. I don't know what she said. Who I'm blue. How cool. Yes. Yes, glad she's safe. Listen, so much crazy stuff happens anymore, Journey. Be alert. Hopefully you find yourself some friends there that you can trust. Other van lifers. What was you saying? Oh, she's trying to correct me on the degrees today. What did I say? 68? Yeah. That's usually Hawkeye's job. She's usually on top of it. Let's see. Again, I don't know what time it typed out or it topped out. She could be right. Could have been 64. I don't know. I didn't look. Yes, look great in blue. You're welcome. Hey, Jennifer. Rock Talk, thank you for helping me today. You're welcome. You're welcome. And I will continue to dig into that. I've been wanting to dig back into Kevin McIntyre anyway. And now you just gave me another name, Davidson. Again, I'm surprised that your sheriff, like I said, I like your sheriff, but I don't live there. I'm surprised the sheriff actually brought somebody that's in the middle of a lawsuit and put them as undersheriff over there. That's kind of strange. Yeah, high was 63, 64. There's got to be more. I know there's got to be more. And I would like to see how would I find out if the undersheriff and a jail guard took off together, left the jail unattended, had sex, and then that jail guard got fired. How would I find that? How would I find that out? Do they wear body cameras over there? I'm curious. 46 now. Okay. Well, back home, it's 33 in Wichita. It is very strange. Very, very strange. And I'm going to keep digging it. I don't know how Kevin McIntyre keeps a job either, but I find it very disrupting that if you're trying to set people up to do buys, and just because they don't do that buy, you start confiscating their property and repoing it and hauling it off. I don't find that to be very very ethical. I'd like to know more about it. Let's not forget he had an embezzlement charge, got grand jury indicted. He was a district task force agent then. Just couldn't be any kind of police officer for 3 years. Comes to your panhandle, gets the same damn job after he had already got charged. It's very strange. I don't know how he keeps a job either. But I've been saying I really wanted to dig back into him. I've said that on a couple lives, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dig back into him. Something's not right. Prayers for healing and comfort, Christopher. Yes, Christopher. I got pain doctor visit tomorrow at 11. I'll be praying for your day also. Thank you. Well, you left me no choice. I got to go into the courtroom. The one thing I didn't want to do. They wear body cams, but I don't know how that works if it's not on a call. Well, we could still FOIA the body cams for the particular dates that the stuff happens. And if they're shutting it off when they're doing things wrong, then it'll show that they're shutting it off. There's Journey's channel again. Jason says, I missed it. Did he change jobs? No. We were talking about the undersheriff over there in Boise City. That guy's under a $75,000 lawsuit from when he worked for Walmart. Well, his resume still says he works for Walmart. But somebody was shoplifting. He tased the guy, tackled the guy. The guy ended up having surgery, missing part of his skull. Seemed pretty rough. I'm just surprised that anybody hired him in the middle of a lawsuit. That lawsuit was filed in June. And it sounds like he was hired in September. And I think he might be a friend of the sheriff. It says the sheriff is the one that hires the undersheriff. So, and their original police officer jobs were only 28 miles from each other over by Edmond. Keep Christopher in our prayers for sure. Ooh, didn't know that. Yes, FOIAs, you can file a FOIA, and they'll give you the body cams. Yes, I did. Jennifer, if you just got here, oh, hold on. I think I still got it on here. I want to show you something. I want to show you something that you might want. Okay. See this here? It's bold.pro, and it came up in my history of looking for him here. It says he lives in Yukon, Oklahoma, which, how's he in Cimarron County if he lives in Yukon? Right here, it says he's a police officer, Cimarron County Sheriff's Office, Boise City, Oklahoma. And then he said he was a uniformed police officer at Walmart from 9/20/20 to current. And then in Cashin, Oklahoma. But what was crazy is his skills: report writing, conflict de-escalation. So it's a little different than what he said in his Facebook post, huh? Anyway, if you want to go look that up, bold.pro. All I did is did a background of Calvin Davidson, and it brought that up. Just so you know. Might be something. It is crazy. Listen, I believe in police officers, and I believe we got to have them. But I also believe that you have to have good police officers. You can't have corrupt police officers. And whenever we've talked about the Brady list, okay? It's when police officers do something wrong, they get put on that Brady list. I played several times how our DA in Sedgwick County handles the Brady list, and our sheriff and our chief of police. Jason says, you're correct on all the hiring, was not aware of the lawsuit. Do they not check? I mean, honestly, they should be doing better checks. I'm not an official background and checker, but I mean, I found the lawsuit. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. And listen, were the people stealing from Walmart? Sounds like it. But did they deserve to get treated the way they did and have that damage? I don't think so. Different people will say different things. You know, my ex-husband will say, well, if he wouldn't have been stealing shit, he wouldn't have got hurt. That's the cop side of it. But, I mean, taking them down and doing that, you meant I wasn't aware. Okay, gotcha. The other thing is, do you guys remember Oklahoma City? You remember the police officer that threw I believe he was Vietnamese, the Asian guy on the ground? The old man? This is crazy. It's crazy. And then that guy ended up dying eventually. It's just nuts. Yes. Listen, I feel like they need to do some more research before they hire. Absolutely. I mean, I'll tell you, with the U.S. Marshals, man, they went all the way down to checking grade school acquaintances. I mean, they do their background checks. I would think that your counties and your public officials would do them background checks too. It's not that hard. I'm telling you, all I did is put in his name, and it brought me all that stuff. The first thing that came up was the lawsuit. We got to do better. And you know what? You can't be afraid to call it out. Can't be afraid to call it out. Again, you got two types of people that become law enforcement officers. There's the ones that just really love the job, and they're there to help the people and do the right thing. And then there's the others that they're control freaks, and they just want to be in power, and they want to be in power over everyone. Now, which one of them two is he? I don't know. Seems they are accepting anything these days. Well, I mean, they wasn't going to let the sheriff that got the job, they told him he couldn't run for sheriff because he was 8 days shy of being a resident. And then Clint Twombly won the sheriff job. He was elected. But then for some reason, Clint Twombly didn't take that job. People say that his wife got cancer and he's having to go clear to Dallas and back. I don't know. But he was elected. He won that election for sheriff. He's all about the power. Well, that's, like I said, in my eyes, there's only two. Either they really want that job or they want the power. It's crazy. But then it takes people like us that's got to call it out. Listen, I am not going to sleep until Texas County has to wear their body cams. I find that is horrible. I don't care if I have to go clear to the White House. In this day and age, when your taxpayer money is paying for them body cameras and for just the sheriff to decide whether they want to use them or not, that's unacceptable. Because them body cams should protect the deputies and it should protect the public that they're dealing with. And if you're not wearing body cams, you're hiding something. And what are they hiding? That's what you need to ask. If you're not wearing the body cams you already got, what are you hiding? What are you scared of? You know, one of my really good friends worked for Wichita PD 38 years. And this is back when they was getting their body cams. And I remember we was at lunch and he was complaining. He didn't want to wear the body cam and just really going crazy. I said, why are you so bothered? He said, because, man, I might say something. I might cuss. Because, like, one time, this guy hijacked a car with babies in it, ditched the car on Broadway, ran into the tire store, and my friend Barry had to go in after him. And the guy was up at the top of the loft of the tire store. And he said some foul words to tell the guy to get down. And he was scared that on his body cam that's what would happen. Well, a couple years later, after the body cams, he was sitting in Kmart parking lot. There was a guy that was a huffer from the south end of town, always huffing paint. Anyway, Barry was busy doing something. This guy come up to his window. And so he cracked the window to talk to him. And the guy stuck a gun in the window. Luckily, the guy's watch got stuck. But all that was on body cam. Again, body cams, everybody should wear them. Exactly, 100%. Good cops favor their body cams. It's protected them so many times. Exactly. Like I said, Barry after that said, yep. Jason says, why I still follow this channel for Kansas moms, the only one that kept it real from the get-go. Listen, I made some enemies too. You know, I feel like when you have a story, you got to tell the whole story. None of us are perfect. Things happen, okay? Things happen in life, different things happen in life, but you got to tell the whole story. And we're here to tell the whole story, Jason. I agree. And we will be there tomorrow. We'll be there tomorrow for the sentencing. And listen, I'll tell you guys, I've told you before, if so many family shows up and they need to get in, I have no problem with that. I would give up my spot for family in a minute. Absolutely. Would give up my spot for family in a minute. Okay, now for a good thing. I saw something this morning that I thought was crazy. So I'm going to bring it to you guys. This is going to be our end of the night thing here. This was crazy. Hawkeyes knows what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm going to find the one from today. Okay. Okay, here it is. This is crazy, guys. Listen, this don't affect Oklahoma at all. It's just a crazy story I saw. Check this out.
It is raining iguanas. Isabella, you have quite the scene. And please introduce us to the lady standing next to you.
Yes, this is Jessica. She is the iguana expert. She's picked up, she said, hundreds of pounds of iguanas this morning. This is crazy. I've honestly never seen anything like it. Jessica, tell us what is happening. Why are these iguanas frozen?
Right. Of course, iguanas are cold-blooded animals. So as soon as it gets to freezing, we end up having iguanas fall out the trees here in South Florida.
Okay. And like I said, you've picked up hundreds of pounds worth just this morning. You told me you started at 4. What do you do with them after you pick up all of these all around the city?
Well, of course, we contact our Trinidadian friends and all the people that like to eat iguanas. So a lot of different cultures eat iguanas, and they eat the eggs and they eat the legs and they eat the tail. So this is easy snacks falling out the trees this morning.
Okay, and I know that you did tell me that before, and I was surprised because I said, is that inhumane? But tell us about the reasons why that's acceptable.
Right. So iguanas are an invasive species here in South Florida, just like the pythons, the parrots, and other animals that damage our native environment. And so we are not allowed to relocate these animals. Some people try to heat them up and let them back go. If you do that on your own property, that's your own choice. But FWC did allow for people to go to a place today. If you find frozen iguanas in your yard, you can look up on FWC's website and they'll tell you drop-off points where they will humanely put iguanas down and make sure that they don't suffer, but we also get them out of our environment and save South Florida.
Okay, and you've already found several in this park, but you told me after this spot, you're headed to the beach. Why are there a lot on the beach, do you think?
Yes, so the last time it froze like this, I found the majority of my frozen iguanas out by the beach. I think that air coming off of the cold water is even colder for them, and the wind is stronger over there, so it knocks them out the trees, and we're expecting to find many more iguanas this morning out there, probably until about 11 a.m. when it starts to get warm enough for them to wake up and climb back up the trees.
Okay, and one last question. What is the heaviest and biggest iguana you have picked up today?
Today, this is probably the biggest boy we've gotten. He probably weighs around 10 pounds and it's probably around 5.5 feet long.
And you told me it's like picking up a bag of ice.
Oh, yes. Right now, they are so cold. My hand is frozen right now holding him. And so they're like little bags of ice and they are so heavy. So like you said, we've gotten probably around 200 pounds of iguanas and probably around 75 to 80 iguanas total.
And this is crazy. I've been nervous even holding this one. And I did pick that one up just a couple of minutes ago. I thought they were going to wake up.
Yeah, they're not waking up yet. We had one moving slightly a minute ago. He was sitting in the sun, so he's getting to heat up a little quicker. But they still have a few more hours that we're going to be able to run around and pick up iguanas like Easter eggs off the ground.
And for those that see a frozen iguana right outside their doorstep, what do you recommend they do one last time?
If you want to allow him to defrost, go ahead and move him to the sun and he'll get to defrost and go up the trees. But if you want to help the environment and remove him, you need to look up FWC's drop-off site and they'll be able to take care of him humanely for you.
Okay, thank you so much, Jessica. Again, a crazy.
Now, let me tell you, they carry salmonella, all kinds of stuff. I wouldn't be out there trying to catch them. Let the professionals do it. There was another one, I don't know, it might not be on here. But there was a guy with a pole just knocking them out of the tree, and there must have been like 100 on the ground. It's crazy. But yes, they say the lizards tear up the natural homelands. And see, it's something that always happens when it gets too cold there. They just kill over, froze, and then as soon as they warm up, they're back to life again. Isn't that crazy? Looky here.
South Florida swapping sunshine for shivers overnight as a blast of cold air sent temperatures tumbling across Palm Beach County. From bundled up residents to frozen iguanas falling from trees, this rare chill has everyone talking. Our Jamilka Gibson has more on what people had to say and how this cold is impacting wildlife. Jamilka?
Florida is crawling with wildlife feeling the freeze. Take a look. This iguana isn't dead. It's stunned by the low temperatures many of us woke up to Sunday morning. But in a very unique circumstance, FWC is calling on you to take action.
South Florida residents waking up to one of its coldest air masses since 2010. In Palm Beach County, people pulling out their boots, beanies, and big coats.
You walk outside today, you feel this cold weather immediately. What's your reaction?
Go back inside and grab more layers.
For longtime resident Daniel Nyman, his routine morning walk with his two pups felt foreign.
I've been living here for 15 years, and I don't feel very good about the weather right now.
The cold snap forcing people to bundle up, some pulling out winter wear they didn't even remember owning.
I've never seen it this cold. I don't remember ever being this cold. This is actually imported from the Middle East. It's like a fur. Keeps me very warm. So that's what I got. That's all I have. And I have a thermal shirt under, thermal pants, thermal socks.
But people weren't the only ones feeling chilly. Cold-stunned iguanas were spotted at Howard Park in West Palm Beach and beyond.
We saw 6 or 7 iguanas like piled up together in one spot, and then there was like 50 or 60 when we were in Delray Beach earlier this morning.
Viewers flooding CBS 12 News with these photos as Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission issued a temporary executive order allowing residents to collect the stunned reptiles without a formal permit.
We have snow.
Along the Treasure Coast, reports of flurries.
It's snowing in Port St. Lucie, Florida right now.
And while locals were rattled by the rare freeze, visitors, not so much.
The weather's not bothering me. I grew up in New Jersey, so a touch of the cold every now and then is wonderful.
FWC says residents can safely drop off cold-stunned iguanas at the designated locations until Monday. Now, those locations are listed on our website along with some safety tips. Reporting in West Palm.
Isn't that crazy? I thought it was crazy. But it came in my newsfeed. I was like, what in the hell? Could you imagine? Could you imagine going out and iguanas hitting you in the head, falling down the tree? Some of them things looked awful big. They looked awful big. So we will go live tomorrow. We won't wait till Tuesday. We'll go live after court and stuff. I do have a couple errands to run. So when I get back here to Colorado, we'll do a live. I'm not going to set it up yet. Just know it'll be in the evening. Unless I can get a good signal right after court, then I'll do that. Sculptures. I know. Can you imagine piling them in your vehicle though, and then waking up on the way to wherever you're dropping them off? There's gonna be some pissed off iguanas, right? And their claws don't look like they're a joke. I wonder if pythons will freeze and die or just sleep for lack of knowledge. I don't know either. Everything that I saw this morning though was about the lizards. So, you know, they've been having ever since the hurricane. They've been having people actually hunting for their pythons and stuff over there. And have you ever watched them hunt? I guess these pythons put off a horrible, horrible smell, and that's how they find them. Let me see if I can find you something on that. It's crazy. I've watched it several times. Florida pythons. I mean, there's people that's what they do is they go looking for them. Not me. Not me. Check this out.
A Florida woman beat out 933 other competitors and was crowned the 2025 Python Challenge champ.
That's her right behind us. Now, she caught 60 Burmese pythons over 10 days out in the Everglades. And tonight, Fox 35's Randy Hildreth explains why this animal rescuer hunts pythons in her free time.
This Florida woman may only be 4'11", but she is fearless. Just ask any of the 60 pythons she caught during the 2025 Python Challenge.
So I'm a state python removal contractor, so honestly, it was just another day working, another 10 days working, kind of just another regular day in the office, as you would say, looking for snakes. I use the boat, I go out biking, I go hiking, I go cruising.
Taylor Stanberry grew up in Central Florida. She spent her childhood fishing and, you guessed it, snake catching.
Yeah, they do.
My first python was just about 11 years ago, I want to say. It was a good size. I want to say 8 feet. You know, I'm short, so for me, it was a good size. But nowadays, I'm so used to catching those that they've gotten small to me. But the first python was cool. 8 feet, bitey one. It was on a road, and it was really exciting.
Stanberry is not always on the hunt. Now she works at a canine rehab facility and rescues exotic animals down in Naples. So why does she professionally hunt Burmese pythons? Well, Burmese pythons are invading Florida.
The actual killing part of the snakes, obviously I don't like because I love snakes. So that's why I hate promoting like being a python contractor because everyone's like, yes, kill snakes. Like that's not what I'm doing it for.
The invasive snakes were first brought to the Sunshine State as part of the exotic pet trade. Now they are threatening the ecosystem, destroying the Everglades.
I don't want people to see it as like, yay, we're killing snakes. I hate snakes stuff because I love all wildlife. I love snakes. And the only reason I'm euthanizing these Burmese pythons is because they are invasive and they are ruining the Everglades and the native wildlife here. So if you want to hunt pythons, just do it for the right reasons. Don't do it because it's fun or you know, you want to hunt something, do it because you actually love Florida and its wildlife and ecosystem.
Each winner walks away with a $10,000 check. Stanberry says she's putting that money back towards helping other animals. Randy Holdreth, Fox 35 News.
There you go. Crazy, isn't it? Court is 9 a.m. tomorrow. Hey, Stacy, I have not had a chance to get back with you. I have not talked to Keith since the other day when I told you I did. He said give him time. The other day is what he told me, give him time. So there we're at on that. So, yeah, we're going to leave here. We've got, well, I think we got a 2-hour drive ahead of us. Let me look. So we'll be up and ready early. Let me see here. This is an hour or so to Boise City. Okay. An hour and 57 minutes, so we'll be leaving here early. Early. Again, I don't know what time I'll do the live tomorrow. Might be tomorrow night. I don't know. There's a couple people I got to see in Guyman, and a couple people I got to see in Boise City. So just have to wait and see when I could do it, or I could just go live real quick and tell you what was said. Black Opal says, "Come to Australia. Come catch some brown tiger snakes, lady." Yeah. Scary. You dang right. Justice needs to be served. She's beautiful. Yes, it does have to be served. Absolutely. You know, they had a case in Wichita, Sedgwick County, and I believe it's the first one that's been prosecuted, where the person that sold the drugs to the person that died, they actually did get charged. It's something new that's been happening, so I could see where he could possibly get charged. I do plan on going and seeing Lavender. I do plan on seeing her. When you go live, I'll be there. Yeah, I'll try to go right after court, but I won't be on very long. How about that? While I'm still in Guyman, we'll go live and tell you what we heard. And then maybe I'll go live later too. But I do want to make sure that the people that's reached out and want to meet up, I want to make sure that I do get to see them and say hey and visit a little bit. So I don't know how crowded it will be tomorrow. Also, Patrick had to go in my comments. I'm sure you're listening, Patrick. I appreciate you. Patrick went in the comments and said, "Hey, lady, the reason that they continued court is because of the attorney. Tiffany's attorney is from Oklahoma City." So you're probably right. Yes, they found her deceased, unalived. High levels of methamphetamines. She was living with her grandmother, and she had taken off. Give her a hug of a lifetime for me. I will. London had taken off from her grandma's. You know, listen, teenagers do that. They get mad. They want to go do things that maybe grandma wouldn't let her, or maybe your parents won't let you. And she was hanging out with these two guys, and it's Central Time Zone. Hanging out with these two guys. They were doing methamphetamines. Took her across state lines. She was 16. One of them's 19. One of them's 20. I'm still surprised that the DA didn't file charges for taking her across state lines. I don't understand that one. Wouldn't you think there would be a charge for that? Anybody under 18, a minor, taking them across state lines. They took them from Oklahoma, took her. Well, wait a minute. There was two reports. There was one report that she left out of her grandma's house, and that's where he picked her up. And originally, I thought it was at the Liberal Pool or something in Kansas, at the Liberal Pool. And when they did the telephone pings, they also went to Texas, to a town in Texas. So, yes, Tiffany got too much of a sweet deal. I agree. She don't have to testify against anybody. I agree. Yes, Jezebel Witch. Like kidnapping. taking a child across state lines. We know they went across the state lines to Texas. Absolutely. But I'll try to give you guys a heads up for the live. Court's at 9. Listen, it might even go into the next day. I don't really know. It depends on who all speaks and the impact statements. And yeah, definitely illegal. Definitely illegal. All right, guys. I'm going to get off here. Much love to each and every one of you. Let's see here. And of course, we'll have our Tuesday live, 7 o'clock. Let's see here. Let's play this one. I don't think that they've said a max sentence, but I would say it'd be life because the plea deal was to take the death penalty off the table. She took the plea deal to take the death penalty off the table. So with that said, I would say life is the max. Life without parole. But we'll see tomorrow. For sure.
Under big blue skies, Rock's got the wheel with that fire in her eyes. Justified laughing, saying we'll be fine, living out dreams 1 mile at a time. Journey's in the van with Murphy in back, little white shits who riding shotgun lap. Rick's holding down the homestead strong, while the rest of us are singing this road trip song. We ain't rich, but we're rich in love, faith in the road and stars above. We're the Rock Chalk family, wild and free. Different rides, but the same damn dream. From bus to van to wherever we roam, every mile feels a little like home. Yeah, the Rock Chalk family, heart so true. It don't matter.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. We'll go back to that. Here you go. Tiffany Adams pleaded no contest to charges in Texas County, Oklahoma. And under a plea agreement, she is looking at a sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murders of Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly. Charges: Adams pleaded no contest to 2 counts of first-degree murder, to 2 counts of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and 2 counts of unlawful removal of a dead body, desecration of a human corpse. The plea deal: in exchange for her no contest plea, the death penalty was removed from the table, and she will not be required to testify against other co-defendants. That's the one that pisses me off right there. She should have had to testify. Her sentencing hearing was originally scheduled for January 28, 2026, but was postponed to February 2nd, 2026, due to weather. There you go. I believe that answers your question. I didn't want to guess. I want to make sure I read it and gave it to you. And you're welcome, everybody. Listen, I appreciate everything you guys do. 100%. This is the only reason I go live.
Where we go, long as we got you. Some nights cold, some nights loud, laughing so hard we draw a crowd. Court dates change, plans get bent, but we still got joy in $1 and a 10. Rock's got stories, justified scenes. Johnny's got hope in the simplest things. Murphy.
Wait a minute. Yeah, we got stories. We got stories. Should I tell them the story about Justified last night? She told me she wanted me to. So, last night we were out of cigarettes. So we decided we'd run to this little town that's about 20 minutes away. And I said, you don't have to get dressed. You don't have to go in if you don't want to. Well, guess what? We were in our pajamas getting cigarettes. Some of us was more clothed than the other. Yeah, and she was making jokes because we had to go to the truck stop to get cigarettes. Just imagine that.
Box like he knows the way. Rick saying y'all be safe, okay. Life ain't perfect, never was, but we show up anyway because we're the Rock Chalk family, ride or die through busted plans and clear blue skies. Not just
Yes, a lot lizard. She kept calling herself a lot lizard, but after watching the Florida shit today, I guess I'm lucky she didn't just freeze to the ground, right? Upside down. Guess we're lucky.
It's deeper than that. It's chosen love and a welcome back. Yeah, the Rock Chalk family is strong and proud. We might be different,
That's
but
right.
we're one loud crowd. From Kansas winds to Colorado snow, Arizona dreams wherever we go. If one falls down, we all stand tall. Ain't nobody left behind at all. We're the Rock Chalk family, front to back. Got each other's hearts, that's a fact. No matter
Yes,
the
you guys.
road, no
Have a
matter
great
the
week.
fight, we stick together
See you
day
tomorrow.
and night. Yeah, the Rock Chalk family, this is us. Not perfect life, just perfect trust. So here's to rock, justified journey to Murphy the Pup and Rick so true. A crazy little tribe on a long highway. Rock Chalk family. Oh.
Okay, hold on. We're gonna play one more. We're gonna play this one more for London. There we go. All right. Let's play this one.
Small town streets, quiet nights, panhandle wind under pale moonlight. A family's hurting, a town in pain, saying a name like it's a prayer in the rain. London Valdez, we won't forget. Every tear, every candle lit. Courtroom doors and a long hard road. Truth feels heavy, but it has to be told. Just as in Hooker, Oklahoma, cries from the wheat fields up to the wide open sky. No more rumors, no more lies, just the truth brought into the light. We're standing strong, we deserve the truth for London's name and the pain we knew. This town is waiting, hearts are stirred. Justice needs served, justice needs served. Sheriff lights in the early dawn, mothers praying, family strong. Everybody knows, but nobody speaks. When silence feels louder than broken dreams. Courthouse steps, February cold. All these stories left untold. A young life taken, no rewind, just memories frozen in time. Just as in Hooker, Oklahoma, cries from the wheat fields up to the wide open sky. No more rumors, no more lies, just the truth brought into the light. We're standing strong, we deserve the truth for London's name and the pain we knew. This town is waiting, hearts are stirred. Justice needs served, justice needs served. Justice needs served. This ain't about hate, this ain't about blame. It's about a family calling out a name. It's about answers, it's about peace. Let the truth speak, let the hurting breathe. Justice in Hooker, Oklahoma stands with folded prayers and shaking hands. No matter how long, no matter the cost, we won't forget the ones we lost. For London Valdez, we won't be unheard. In every courtroom, every whispered word, this town is waiting, the truth preserved. Justice needs served. Justice needs served.